The date was February 3rd, 2019. The New England Patriots and Los Angeles Rams were about to face off in Super Bowl 53. But for many, they were not there to watch the biggest sporting event in America every year. No, they were there for a much different reason. A yellow sea creature named SpongeBob. But let's go back to the beginning. Okay, not that far. A little closer. Almost there. There you go. I'm sure most of you know the brief history and creation of SpongeBob. Steven Hillenburg was a marine biologist, wanted to teach these people all about marine biology. In this, he created a SpongeBob little short cartoon thing, and that eventually turned into the show we got. Anyway, let's talk about Band Geeks. Regarded as one of the best SpongeBob episodes of all time, Band Geeks is one that's not even about him. It's actually about Squidward and his want and desire to be a great musician. And throughout the episode, we see Squidward try to do this, but not only for his own sake, but also to prove his rival Squilliam wrong. Which, little side note, I think it's kind of funny how this is like one of the biggest performances for Squilliam and stuff, and he only didn't do it because he was busy, and he is basically trying to see his friend fail, and yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so throughout the episode, like I said, we see Squidward attempting to do this, but Bikini Bottom just continuously lets him down over and over and over again, as they tend to do, all leading up to this scene right here. But to the amazing surprise of everyone, they managed to figure it out, and we end up getting one of the most iconic SpongeBob scenes and songs of all time. But what does a random 15-minute episode of SpongeBob releasing all the way back in 2001 have to do with the Super Bowl 18 years later? Unfortunately, it is due to a tragedy and the loss of Steven Hillenburg, who passed away on November 21st, 2018 due to Alzheimer's. And this started a eventual Change.org petition by a superfan to have Sweet Victory performed at the Super Bowl. But let's be honest, Change.org petitions never work. It doesn't really matter what it is, how big or small the issue is, and how many signatures it gets. They tend to go nowhere, which, I mean, can you blame people? Businesses and companies are not usually going to make decisions based on a website where you can sign petitions, and you can also probably just fake petition signatures. So it wouldn't be shocking that this wouldn't have gone anywhere, but surprisingly, this is one that did, and eventually catching the attention of Maroon 5, the band performing. Then these rumors started swirling after the petition. It was like, okay, that's kind of cool, got a lot of signatures, so that's fun and stuff. And then tweets started showing up, and more tweets started showing up. And then eventually, on January 13th, 2019, Maroon 5 tweeted this out. Then, if that wasn't the official confirmation that we were going to see SpongeBob in the show, we eventually see this tweet by Jamal St. Cyr, apologies if I pronounced that wrong, with this tweet officially confirming the Sponge's appearance. Which then brings us to February 3rd, the day of the Super Bowl. And after months of teasing and one of the most boring first halves in Super Bowl history, this is what we got.
True musical genius who needs no introduction. Oh.
It's lit. Yeah. Gone on you with the pick and roll. Younger flame here, sickle mode.
And of course, we all got what we wanted, right? Like, there's no way that Nickelodeon and Maroon 5 and all these people could disappoint millions of people. There's just no way that could happen. But of course, why would anything just be perfect? Why can we just never have nice things? To say the disappointment was real would be a little bit of an understatement. Now, most of the reactions I saw and most people saw was on Twitter, and I mean, I think we can all agree, take everything you see on Twitter with a grain of salt. I don't think it was as big of a deal as most people made it out to be, where they were like, this is completely disrespecting Steven Hillenburg and all this stuff. It was a nice homage. They weren't going to change their entire Super Bowl performance for one song. With that said, after teasing months and months of this, it left a lot of fans not as quite what they wanted. And there's actually been some nice fan edits of people editing in Sweet Victory into Maroon 5's performance, and it just works so much better. And it's just the fact that they played Sweet Victory at the beginning and then eventually just went into sicko mode, which I think we can all agree is just not a good song. So yeah, it was just a thing that happened, unfortunately. And I wish this was the worst thing that happened to SpongeBob since Hillenburg's death, but no, Nickelodeon continues to just make spin-offs and movies that are bad and screws it up even more. I don't know how to say this, but it somehow got worse.